One take, one shot. This is the Raw review where I do it all in one take, no edits. And I gotta say, people are gonna think that I am a WWE sellout, a shill, a plant even, after I review this Raw because I absolutely loved it. But I promise you, I am taking no money from WWE. But I also promise you, if WWE wants to offer me money, I will 100% accept all the money and I will sell out. But I promise you, if I do ever sell out, I'll tell you, hey guys, WWE pays me, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but no salt needed, no seasoning needed, because I'm still poor and I do this for free. But I'll tell you what, I loved this Raw. Only yawned like 3 or 4 times. I lost my sheet of paper. How do I lose a sheet of paper? It's not like I just throw paper around everywhere, but I lost the paper that I was doing the counts on, but I know it was 3 or 4. And I will also say that 12 commercials, and I'm going to just do the chops right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 10 chops, a very high 9. I considered giving it a 10, actually. Such a good Raw. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going to watch it. Put this video on mute right now and let it play out because the algorithm likes when the videos play to the end. But if you put me on mute, go watch Raw. Go watch Raw. So freaking good. There was a segment that I've never really fully seen this really happen to this perfection. CM Punk, right? All night long, CM Punk is waiting for Seth Rollins to come out. That's the big thing. And Adam Pearce is like, dude, he's not here. And he's like, well, I'm just going to wait right here. Well, later in the show, Adam Pearce comes out and is like, dude, Seth Rollins, he's in the building right now. And CM Punk's like, what? And so he goes into the ring and he says, I'm not leaving until you come out, CM Punk, man to man, let's have a conversation. And Seth Rollins' music hits. Everybody's whoa, whoa, whoa. But then Becky, the man to man, she comes out and she does her Seth Rollins. And I'll tell you what, I like Becky Seth better than I like Seth. And she comes out, she goes up to CM Punk, and mano a mano, she doesn't just survive a mic battle with CM Punk, she owns him. She owns CM Punk on the mic, and she embarrasses him when it's all said and done. Oh, God, this was so freaking good. I don't know how Becky did it. Becky, literally, when she came back at WrestleMania, I did not like her. I was very upset with her. I was like, no way do I want to cheer her. I'm mad at her. And now I'm like, more Becky, please, because she is a joy to watch, an absolute joy to watch. She is doing the best work of her career, and that's saying something because she is the first woman to ever main event WrestleMania. One of the greatest women wrestlers of all time, and that's not me saying it, that's ESPN, or not ESPN, that's Sports Illustrated, that's what she says. But no, she goes to Punk, and she starts saying, when you left, it didn't just affect Seth Rollins. I was wrestling and they would chant your name. So she did a lot of the stuff that Seth talked about last year. She brought it all back up. So it became personal again. Instead of just a CM Punk chasing a title, it became personal again. And she's like, you dare talk about my husband because you know what? What you say about him affects me too. We're a team. And she just goes in on it. And CM Punk at first doesn't want to do nothing. He even says, hey man, I don't want to regulate you to Seth Rollins' wife because you're a legend. You're awesome. You're amazing, but you have bad taste in men. and they just go at it, right? They're just lobbing at each other. But Becky is not just holding her own, she's winning. And CM Punk, eventually, he stops holding back, but he can't really find his footing against Becky. She is just firing on all cylinders, and eventually Seth Rollins comes out, right? Seth Rollins comes out, and CM Punk goes to meet him, and she gets in her way. Or his way, and she just will not get out of his way. And it's like, oh, I know, equal rights, equal pain, right? But CM Punk's not doing that. He's not about to hit a woman, even if it is the man. And so finally, he fakes her out, sidesteps her, he's getting to the ropes, and Seth Rollins says a couple things, and end result, Seth just basically he like CM Punk tries to get out of the ring, gets in, Becky gets in his face again, and he looks her back, and Seth Rollins just leaves. Seth Rollins just left. He came out to no music, and he just walked away. He didn't make a big show about it. He didn't laugh how he was leaving. He didn't say, bye-bye, B-word. He just walked away. Like, you cut back to him, you see his back, he's just like, da-da-da-da-da. And I loved that. The world champion, Seth Rollins, freaking Seth Rollins, who just makes a show of everything, just walked away so nonchalantly, so unceremoniously, that it was great. It felt like new. It felt fresh. Not just Becky and CM Punk going at it with each other, but Seth Rollins just walking away like, yeah, you're just inconsequential to me. That is more insulting than him just trying to, like, I don't know, whatever, trying to, like, make fun of him. Just walking away, showing that you don't care about someone. I don't even need to say bye to you. I don't even need to have, you can have the last word. I don't even care. I'm walking away. And that CM Punk is furious, right? And he tries to get away, but Becky, she slaps him, and she's slapping him. She just starts going slap, slap, slap. What are you gonna do? At one point, she puts her head on his chest, and it's just like, it was so good. Never have I seen something like that before. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying it was like, so good, because I don't know. Becky humiliated him, right? But what was CM Punk to do? I get it, there's going to be a lot of people that said, she was putting her hands on him, but CM Punk trying to be like, I don't know, that old school style of gentleman. I'll never hit a woman. He was in that position. Could you imagine if he had hit her? It would be replayed for his entire career and stuff. And so he was just put in this, like, no-win situation. And he says, you know what, you're gonna regret that. And he walks away, and Becky doesn't stop. She's like, what? Hey, Paris, let's do na-na-na-na. You like your chants. And she is making fun of the crowd for their chants, and the crowd won't chant, which is impressive. This was the first thing that the crowd wouldn't chant, as Becky is trying to get them to chant, but she's doing it in a way that is a heel, so it's good that the crowd didn't chant, and it was mwah. Mwah, as the French would do. Mwah! Let's do a slow motion kiss on this one. This was an awesome segment. I loved it. It was so good. I loved it. This was a good Raw. There's a lot of good things. And there's more great things in a store for this episode. And then later, CM Punk goes to Adam Pearce, and he's like, Adam, where is Smackdown this week? And he's like, Chicago. And he's like, oh, Chicago? Cool. And so that's implying that he's about to get some help. Now, they did kind of tease earlier in the night it might be Rhea Ripley, because those two did share a screen together, and I'm hoping that's not the case. Not because I hate Rhea, but because I want AJ Lee. And we cut back to where Smackdown, and he's like, cool, AJ is in Chicago, SmackDown's in Chicago, therefore next week we might get AJ Lee and CM Punk announcing that they're coming for Becky and Seth Rollins. Now, typically, I wouldn't like this. I remember last time they did Becky and Seth, it was versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. That was so stupid and dumb. But right now, Seth and Becky, woo! This could be good. This could be great. This could be amazing. And yeah, I'm all for it. I am all in on this one. Becky did such a good job. Let's talk the rest of Raw, though, because we start off with, well, you know what? Let's talk this belt right here. If you want to win this belt, all you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, ding, 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 notification. I'm going to give it away at 20,000 subscribers on my quest to quit my day job. All right, so Raw starts off with Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes down, and this is the right-hand man, Jey Uso, who just happens to sell Yeet shirts. Because he's all in black, he's mad, he's like, you can tell he doesn't want to, like, really clap the hands of people, but he will. he does some yeet, but then he gets in the ring and everybody, the whole crowd is like, come on, Jay, let's run it again. He's like, nah, man, sorry, can't. I'm mad, I'm upset. And then LA Knight hits. LA Knight comes. He's like, dude, this is your fault. We could have put Seth at a table. I could have pinned Seth Rollins. I could have elbowed him on the table. And I'll say this, I mean, yes, I think it was bad when Jay, when they could have put Seth through the tables and Jay super kicked, but at the end of the day, it was every man for himself. But LA Knight was kind of being like, I don't know, a baby about it. He's like, I get it, LA Knight, you want to win, but. And LA Knight and Jay Uso, they really got in each other's face. And I'm all about that feud. I wanted this. I really did. But then the Brawns come out, and it was okay. This became a very okay segment, but we all knew where it was going. It was going to go for a tag team match playa for your main event, and that's exactly what happened. And then Jay and LA Knight, can they get along? And the Brawns were like, yeah, we're off the leash because Paul Heyman's in the hospital and so it's like, you know what, you guys don't have a babysitter, so now you can actually do stuff. I don't know about that, but whatever. And interesting, though, we won't see Seth with the Brawns tonight, even though they're the Vision. I don't understand that. Like Seth was in the building. We should have seen something there, but let's just say we're not seeing that right now because of how they wanted to play the angle. Everything else was pretty good, though. We have the Kabuki Warriors versus the Judgment Day, and I was very surprised that Roxanne Perez took the loss. She actually tapped out. And, okay, whatever. But before this, Asuka is saying to Io, like, Io, we are good, we're family. And it's like, but Asuka's being so nice, and her eyes are bulging out like a maniac, that you're like, yeah, something's wrong with Asuka right now. She has changed. Something has changed with her. And Io is just like, I told Rhea we can't be friends anymore. And Asuka's like, good, we're family. And then she's like, do you want my help? And then Io says, no, we don't need help. Or no, Asuka said, no, we don't need help. Not like Rhea does. And I gotta say, Asuka, this stupid storyline that started off very high schoolish, it won me over. I love this storyline too now. Asuka being just this maniac that won't let Io have friends is so funny. And then Kairi stays behind always, and Asuka leaves the camera, and she's like, Kairi, come over here. And there's more later. We'll talk more about that later. We get the Judgment Day match, and they tap out. Okay, so Asuka wins. Then the shocker of the night, the upset of the night, Finn Balor won a match. Against who? Don't matter. Local enhancement talent. It's just shocking that Finn Balor won a match. I love Finn. I really, really do. And he was fighting Dragon Lee. The story is that, you know, we got Dragon Lee and Dom kind of in AAA, kind of circling around the AAA title, but Super Dragon Lee beat JD last week, and now Finn won this week. Very, very surprised, only because, you know, he's pinned Balor. Usually he's on the shoulder to the mat side, not on the opposite side of the pin. But then, so I like that. Then we have Nikki Bella and Io Sky. They're talking, right? And then Asuka comes back, and she's like, get away. And then she tells Io, you don't need any friends. This is when I became in love with this story. For now, it was one thing with the Rhea thing. It was like, oh, this is kind of lame. But now that Asuka has completely said that Io can't have any friends, what a lunatic it is. And Asuka's like, she's so dramatic about it. It's hilarious. So I've officially bought into this feud, and I love it now. So I'm going to say that I was wrong. I will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about this feud, and it has turned the corner. And it is great, amazing stuff. Then we have the equally the best part and the worst part of the night. The best part is the New Day showed up. They're always the best part, and I thank God for the New Day. And they're fighting with Grayson Waller in a 6-man tag match against Penta, and the bikers. Who are the bikers? The War Raiders. They come out with them, and it's like, okay, where do they come from? And eventually, unfortunately, the New Day will lose, but they're still grieving, so let's give them grace. In fact, I'm not even going to count this loss because Penta put him in a Mexican Destroyer again, and we're trying to ban the Mexican Destroyer because it's just so hurtful. It's so hurtful to people who grieve. Seriously though, the Penta and the War Raiders, they won, continuing this. Now, it is interesting that they lost the New Day because I thought we were like, why is Penta still feuding with them if he's going to beat them all the time? If it kind of feels like Penta should be losing, which will eventually bring in Rey Fenix, and then we can have the Luchas versus the New Day. There was a funny spot where Grayson Waller took a fan's phone and literally threw it on the ground and started stomping on it. I was like, wait a second, is that someone's phone? I hope that was a plant, but he broke somebody's phone. After this match, we have Adam Pearce talking to Dom saying no Judgment Day coming out, and Finn Balor is like, oh, we'll be there in spirit, and he's all happy because Dom is left on his own. And then Rhea, who is she talking to? She's talking to I forget what reporter she was talking to. She was talking to a reporter, and she's like, you know what? I respect Stephanie, and I respect Io Sky, because earlier in the night, also, Adam Pearce said that Io Sky, she was supposed to challenge Naomi for the title, therefore, she would get the title match against Stephanie Fakir, which I thought was stupid at the time, because that night that Io lost, or that night that Io was supposed to fight Naomi, she actually fought Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne beat her. So I was like, therefore, Roxanne should be the winner. They address it, though, and I was just floored that they addressed it and had continuity. But here we got Rhea saying, hey, I respect them both. I'm going to win against one of them. And then Asuka comes up, and Asuka's like, oh, you're already talking about challenging Io? You want the title? And Rhea's like, yeah, I want the title. And don't get out of my face, basically. Don't push me around. And Asuka's like, I'll push whoever I want around. Asuka's awesome. Becky's awesome. Everybody, Finn Balor wins. The New Day, they're awesome. It's just so much good stuff happening here tonight. AJ versus AJ Styles, not AJ Lee. AJ versus Dominic Mysterio. And I'll tell you what, these are the moments that make me remember why I love wrestling. These are the moments that I forget that Big Daddy TKO is charging like $5,000 a seat because I need a bigger swimming pool. And I just love the fans just cheering AJ Styles, going crazy. I love that AJ got to experience that. One of the best human beings in wrestling, from what I hear, is AJ Styles. He's just about respect, and he's going to do things the right way, blah, 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 blah. And I'm talking the human, not the wrestler, the character. And AJ so deserves this. Last time he was in France and they cheered like this, he was a villain. So you can only show so much when you're the villain, but this time he was a face, so he was able to just soak it in, baby. Soak it in. And I loved that the crowd, they went out through the entire commercial break. They went about 5-6 minutes just singing praises of AJ, and that was a beautiful thing. I wish AJ would have won, but he didn't. Dominic Mysterio does win. Dominic had a great match. I love Dominic, but I just wish that AJ would have won here. Just because my guy did not win, though, doesn't mean that AJ was buried and everything sucks and blah, blah, blah. But that said, I do wish AJ would have won. Dom won. Grande Americano comes out, puts something in his mask. It's like, why didn't you put the thing in your mask before you came out? And AJ gets the victory. We do have a segment with Adam Pearce, and instantly Roxanne Perez comes, and she addresses the fact that she should be number one contender because she was the last person to beat Io Sky. And then Adam Pearce says, hey, if Io wins, we'll talk then, which I appreciate. That is logical storytelling, makes sense of the who gets a title shot, and it sets up potential feuds. That's all you need. One or two sentences can almost always. Wrestling is so basic. One or two sentences is all you need to make things make sense. Lyra shows up too, and they get kind of into a verbal confrontation because Lyra's not having any of it, and she just wants to talk to Adam Pearce. Again, now, next week, when they actually have a fight, a wrestling match, we'll know why, and we'll have, just a minor storyline goes a long way on a televised TV match. And they talk Bayley, and Adam Pearce is like, I talked to Bayley. She seems a little off, but she seems okay. So we got that still going on. Now, then LA Knight talks to the reporter again. Jey Uso gets in his face. LA Knight says, not your yeet, my yeah. So we got that. Then we cut to a commercial after CM Punk and Rhea, they talk. We cut to a commercial, and I hated this. The New Day had a funeral segment. They had a funeral segment where they're mourning the loss of the tag team division, but they ran it during a commercial. Granted, I now live in Canada. Yes, Canada, that's where I live now. Or I have a VPN, one of the two options. And it's like, why would we prevent people in the United States from seeing this awesome, amazing 2-minute promo video package? It was great. It was great stuff, and they should have definitely aired it. And it was funny, it was hilarious, and they did it. But then we come back from commercial and we see a stupid commercial for a boxing match. Boxing's fake. I'm not saying they're not athletic. I'm not saying that the boxers aren't athletic. I'm saying I don't want to see fake. I don't want to see fake boxing. I want to see a funeral for a tag team division. But no, for real, I do want to see that over the boxing. And another missed opportunity was, remember how I said that CM Punk was like waiting outside for Seth Rollins, and then it's just revealed that Seth was in the building? Throughout the entire night, they should have just had CM Punk looking for Seth Rollins. They could have had 3 to 4 easy little segments where CM Punk, he opens a door, and then we see something silly going on, like Grayson Waller giving back rubs to the New Day. I think Dreamer said Otis putting oil on himself. Just crazy, silly stuff. But we didn't, and I think that was a little missed opportunity. We need more backstage segments. We need a little more levity in this whole thing. Then what do we got? I think that's pretty much it, actually. Oh, Rusev did a cool promo, and he said that he had a cool line that said that Sheamus's fighting spirit showed up, but his Irish body showed up, but his French spirit showed up, and he gave up. So that was kind of funny. Where do we go from here with Rusev? He needs to, like, if we're trying to get Rusev hot, he needs to instantly go into another feud. It can't wait. Like, it seriously can't wait. Or send him to NXT to fight some people down there. I know. He's aged out of NXT, but like, you get what I'm saying. He just needs to be doing something. Then we have the Punk Becky stuff, and then our main event tag team match. It's a standard match. I think it went a little too long, and at the end of the day, Jey Uso he'll take the pin, and then he'll get beat up, right? As he's getting beat up, and LA Knight's been taken out of the equation, Jimmy Uso comes out with the chair, and you hear Jey saying, I can't do it by myself. I need you. So it looks like we're getting Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, the Usos, versus the Braun Brawns at WrestlePalooza, which is only 2 weeks away. One, that's obnoxious that it's 2 weeks away. Two, get a VPN. Just get a VPN, guys. Don't pay $30 a month for ESPN Plus. There, now you know I'm for sure not getting paid by WWE. Then again, Stephanie McMahon is also advertising VPNs. And then what else? It's just and then we're getting the Usos back. Why is Jimmy on Raw? Like, that didn't make sense. Why is he on Raw? Like, and why didn't he come out sooner? But, like, he's supposed to be on SmackDown. I get it, the brand split doesn't matter, but it does. It still matters. Still matters to me, all right? Still matters to me. Overall, great Raw. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Go leave a hot take on the community post. I'm going to end this video. 9 out of 10 chops. Great stuff. Very minor things that I did not like, but I love the continuity. I love the callbacks. They remembered that Roxanne Perez beat Io Sky. Good stuff. Asuka making this ridiculous feud work, making the storyline work. It's great stuff here. Great stuff. AJ getting his props and Becky owning Punk. Mwah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As always, we always need to thank God for the new day. I'll see ya. Boys, girls, have yourselves a good day. Bye.